here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today I have a very special guest on the line. It is none other than Matt from SK Gaming, who dominated in CRL just today, beating Team Liquid, really sweeping three of the best players in the world in Azilys, Diegob, in Surgical Goblin. And I had to get him on to talk about the decks that he used, mainly the Hog Mini PEKKA deck, which he absolutely just destroyed with. So Matt, welcome to the channel, man. How you doing?
Thank you. Really good to stay in this channel for the first time.
Yeah, dude. Do you enjoy? Is this your first time in America? You're from Rome, Italy, right?
Yes, first time in America.
Nice, man. Well, I hope you're enjoying it so far. And by the looks of the pictures over there, the SK team house, you guys are having a great time by the pool and practicing CR all day. So welcome to the channel, man. And what I want to do is kind of set the table here, because right before you went in King of the Hill, for those of you who don't know, it's basically like 1 versus 1 until you eliminate all the players on the opposing team. And right before you went, Flobby just got beat by Surgical Goblin, and Surgical had a counter deck as well. And Surgical Goblin BM'd Flobby. So I have to ask, did you take that personal as Flobby's teammate going into your match, or were you totally fine with it and you were just focused? Like, how did you feel about it going into your first match against Surge?
For Surgical, it was like more mind game, because like if you BM one of the team can tilt, because if you BM, like if one teammate can get BM'd, it's like you want to get a sort of revenge and you can play maybe worse. But I took now in part of personal, but in part it was mind game, and I tried just to give my best and to like revenge Flobby for his loss, and after I defeated Surgical.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, good job. And we're going to watch that replay too. And I want to start out actually with the match against Diegob first. But obviously, just to kind of wrap up the BM talk, is that his plan definitely backfired on you this time. It seemed to really motivate you. And you lost in your 1v1 set earlier, but you came back with a vengeance in the sweep later on. So I want to start out with the Diegob. Do you have that replay ready, man?
One moment.
Okay, let's press play in 3, 2, 1, go. So going into this match, you're playing the Hog Mini PEKKA deck. Talk about why you selected this deck and why you like it right now in the meta.
I think that actually is one of the most solid decks in the meta. I practiced it a lot. I've done also 12-0 in one challenge. I practiced with my teammates and I was really confident with it. I knew that against Diegob would have been like a good option. So, and I was feeling also confident, and I thought, okay, let's start with this deck, and whatever is the matchup, I think that I can win. I think that I played the match good. For sure, the matchup was, for me, it was really hard for Diegob to get through, and he was like without good defense for the Hog. I tried to manage and play more passive and defensive to don't give him many chances, because if I overcommit in attack with the Hog, he has a chance counter push, but if I play defensive and counter push with Hog, for him it's really hard to defend. So I try to be passive, also to spam Princess, because he doesn't have a really solid counter. The Princess, it worked.
Yeah, and you actually go in here with the mini PEKKA is destroying against the newly nerfed Zappies here. So
yes, Zappies are not that good more.
You don't think the Zappies are good anymore?
I don't think so. Like, are okay, but not that good. Like before they were OP, now they are just a normal card that.
Yeah, they called it a mechanical change, but we all know it was a pretty solid nerf. So, let's get back to the game here, because I do want to focus on the deck strategy. How aggressive are you playing the Hog in a deck like this? It's not, it's still a cycle deck, but it's not like 2.6 cycle deck. So what are the differences on how you play a Hog in this deck versus a faster 2.6 cycle deck?
I'm not really good with a faster 2.6 cycle deck, but I'm good with this.
So why do you think that's the case?
It's different because usually 2.6, for example, you have cannon, you play musketeer, the distance from the cannon so that they can poison fire or lightning all, and it's faster, so you can cycle better your opponent. And I mean, it's totally different how you play this Hog from how you play the 2.6. And like also Lightning is a different spell from Fireball, for example, that can get really good value, but in a different way. And you have the Princess that you can bait the log, you can if they don't have log, it's a really good card. Deal a lot with your opponent.
Yeah, and it seems like with normal princess decks, and this is a big push coming in. All right, well, let me get to the match here. Are you worried about this push, or you're very confident defending with this deck? It seems like you have it totally fine.
Yes. I mean, I was confident to defend with this deck. I know that against Battle Ram years the defense is so good with PEKKA log. He doesn't have anything for the princess, so the princess like take the zappies, take the I can log in defense, so I have a really solid defense, and I was confident also if I can a bit overcommit offense with the hog. I was confident.
Yeah, and you pull off the victory there.
I waited a bit with the lightning because
he
I knew
blocked it.
that he would have used Battle Ram. Yes.
Yeah, that was really, really well played. And I want to get a little bit more into deck strategy as we go into the next match against Azilys. But before we do that, just like a huge shout out to Diegob. He's one of my favorite players in the game. I really like Diegob. Out of these, like when you have guys like Surgical Goblin, Diegob, and Azilys, like three really top-notch players, do you have like a different strategy against each of these guys, or is it just you do focus on your game and just let the match come to you?
I think the best is just focus on the game because they are really complete players that can play every deck. So if you start focusing on them, you can. I mean, it's not that good. It's just better to play your best decks and do your best. If you try to counter them, it's hard that you can counter them, and at the same time, you will not play comfort decks and be bad for.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice too, and I like that mentality. Let's go right into the next match here. I'm anxious to get going here, and let's get to the. I want to see this one against Azilys. So let's press play in 3, 2, 1, go. So against Azilys, what made you play the same deck against both Azilys and Diegob? You're just that confident with the deck, and obviously it worked with you for you the first time.
Yes, I was really confident with the deck, and at the same time, I knew that they would have not expected me to repeat another deck, so I thought that it was the best option.
Mm-hmm.
And like the matchup was okay. For a moment, I also overcommitted a bit.
Yeah, you went all in here, like a 4, 6, 9 elixir push right here with the ice golem, the hog, and the minions. And I noticed that you did the same thing in the previous match, not with the minions, but really early in the game, you went ice golem, hog. Can you just talk? It might be very basic to you, but can you talk about why you decide to go ice golem, hog with a 6 elixir push versus just a hog?
This push, I think the first was good. In particular, before if he used fireball on the princess, it doesn't have for my push, and minions will take out the support when he defends the hog. So in fact, I took a good elixir advantage, like 2. But this push, the next, when I push in the same lane of the giant, was bad because I should have, yes, pushed with hog, but not to use as golem because I need the as golem sense. I made push. So I should have just played hog, let the princess goes in front of the giant, the prince with the ice golem, and then have a clean defense. But I overcommitted with ice golem and I risked to lose the tower.
Yeah,
so it was a mistake by me.
Yeah, I really like that you're pointing out your mistakes too. So that might be something that my viewers can certainly take and apply to their game. Is so when would be a good situation to use the ice golem, and when is a bad situation to use the ice golem in front of your hog?
A good situation is when, in particular, in the double elixir, in one elixir, a bit. In double elixir, you can use it in the opposite lane of the giant, so that yes, like with 2 troops, like Prince Mega Minion or Prince Magic Archer, and then I can defend better. Like if they don't have a giant in the front, they are easier to defend it, and I can let him use the troops in the other lane so that I can the giant back up.
Now you just did something very interesting. You did a fake hog push, right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
I knew that if I would have pushed with hog in that moment, he was in a defensive way, like that he was ready to defend my hog. So I beat him. I let him think that I was going with the hog, and he used like a magic archer and mega minion so that I can defend all with my princess, and then just focus on the defense giant. And after the push against giant, I have a good opportunity to push with hog.
Yeah, that was a real great play, and it's something that we've seen before, but it's hard to know. Like that's only a play that you can probably get away with like once a match, right?
Yes, like you have to think about that in the perfect moment.
Yeah. So do you think that is that something that you plan on doing in the future, or is it just kind of a filling out the situation, see if you can get them to overcommit on defense before you drop the hog?
Uh, Personally, I think that I learned this I'm a giant player. So many times when I was playing giant, they were when I was playing hog, they were like doing this push, letting me use my troops and then defend flawless without pushing the hog. So I think that I learned this playing with giants. So when they were doing this against,
I love that. So you learned how to take advantage of a giant player just by playing giant decks and knowing their habits and stuff.
yes.
All right. Well, hey, let's go into the long-awaited match against Surgical Goblin. So this is a different deck. You talked about beatdown decks just now. Let's press play in 3, 2, 1, go. And what made you decide to use this deck against Surgical here?
This is the deck that I am more confident with, my giant deck. Like from the start of the game, obviously every time I take some cards, cards are better in the meta. But in general, giant is a great deck. So I thought that against a player like Surgical Goblin, that probably I can't predict the deck. I've just got the best deck.
Just go with your most
And
confident.
I was also prepared to play against PEKKA because it seems that PEKKA is counter of giant, but if you have guards and I think it's also like a good matchup for giant personally.
Yeah,
The best thing
absolutely.
that matchup is don't push giant in the back if you don't have elixir advantage. Like better to just play defensive, and when he doesn't have back in the cycle or when he much elixir in offensive, like with the miner or whatever, you can play giant.
I got it. So yeah, and at this point you don't get any damage on that push. So, but it doesn't look like you're panicking. You're just are you just biding time until double elixir at this point, or what is your strategy at this point in the match?
At this point, I just got the advantage in the cycle and in the elixir, so he was forced to defend with P.E.K.K.A, and I took the P.E.K.K.A Prince, Hunter, and after. And then he was without P.E.K.K.A in cycle, so I was ready to, with Giant. I was just waiting for him to overcommit here. I play guards. I know that he doesn't have much elixir. I can just ignore the Electro Wizard in the other lane and go with Giant. As he can't play P.E.K.K.A because the guards and the Mega Minion will have to the P.E.K.K.A, he just try to defend with other troops. And then it's like this tower have opportunity
Yep.
if he doesn't have P.E.K.K.A in cycle.
Absolutely. And that was beautiful. Was the reason that you sent in the miner on the right tower just there before this push, was that just to get your cycle right?
Yes, it was just to bait one troop because I would have used like a Bandit or Electro Wizard on the miner, and then I can just ignore the troop that he put.
Wow. So
And then I have the cycle and the disadvantage.
I'm not trying to like fawn over you here, Matt, but that was a really like I would say that's a really underrated pro play where you sent in the miner just to bait out another one of his cards. It didn't matter which one, but like any other card that's going to cause problems for your giant, right?
Yes, I mean if you play Miner Poison, just Miner Poison, you can't do this play because you just do damage.
Yeah.
But if you play Giant and Miner, you can do it to bait and then have a better cycle and a better push with Giant.
Wow. Very, very well played. And by the way, two cards that I do want to kind of point out that I love in this deck are Guards and also Hunter. I think they're both underrated cards. How do you feel about both those cards, and why did you include them in this deck?
I was playing this deck like before, like in Superliga Orange, and I was really confident with this deck. I know that in this meta guards, Hunter are really strong because Hunter is strong against Golem, Giant, Lava that are decks played in every meta and in particular in this meta. I know that guards are strong against Prince and against Bandit, and in this meta are cards used, in particular the Prince. So I really like those cards in this deck, and I play those cards also.
Yeah, I really like that deck, and I'm going to link all three of the decks that Matt won with, guys, or all two of the decks, excuse me, in the three matches in the description below for you guys if you want to try them out. Matt, thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations on the sweep of really, it's hard to find a lineup as stacked as that. So huge hats off to you, man. Do you have any shout outs, anything like that before we let you go?
Follow me on Twitter and on Twitch.
Awesome, man. Well, we're definitely.
CR.
Sorry, what was that?
on Twitter, Matt01 with Matt_01 and Matt_01_CR.
All right, for sure. We'll have all of those links in the description for you guys. Make sure you follow Matt and congratulate him on his sweep. Really, really impressive. So, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the channel, and best of luck to you and SK Gaming on the rest of the season.
Thank you for and hope to come back soon.
All right, sounds good, dude. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Huge props to Matt for accomplishing what he did there. Was really impressed. I watched it live on the stream, and it was just great. So, guys, make sure you check out his information, including his player stats and profile, thanks to statsroyale.com. And a huge shout out to Matt again and Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information in the description below. Guys, thanks for watching, and as always, take care, guys.